Hi guys, this is Rollo from Rollo's Music Lab. Big welcome to you. So exciting. So this is my very first episode of the channel and I'm glad that you joined in. So what's it going to be about here? What's happening? I got some tools here, some wood files, piece of wood, a pen. Well, I'll show you. Number one, my prototype that I'm currently working on. Number one instrument I'm about to build, and as you can already imagine, this is going to be a Cigar Box Guitar. Hey, Cigar Box Guitar style instrument. This is not a original cigar box, but well, it's all going to be in the spirit of the Cigar Box Guitar community. That means use whatever you can get your hands on, use what you find, use what you can buy, what you have at home, use whatever you have and make it work. Very cool. Now, oh no, oh wait a second. Something is missing, right? Ta-da, yes. This is much better, I like it much better. You like it much better as well now. Okay, so let's get into the details. I wanted to talk to you about this particular instrument. So as I say, number one, the prototype. I have never built a guitar or any other instruments before, so this is the starting point of many instruments and different types of instruments as well. This is much more comfortable. Right. So to the instrument. All right. One thing before I get started here and get into details about this particular instrument and what I had in mind and how to get it put it together, there will also be some well, not unboxing, no, unpacking, because I got some stuff which I ordered and which just arrived the last days, and this is all kind of stuff, tools and accessories that I need for the guitar, so I will show you that as well. This is always fun, I suppose. Good. Now, where did I start, or how did I start? Well, obviously, I got myself a little box. Actually, if you look closely, especially on the side, you see that there was some print. It was a little tissue box at the beginning, right? So tissue box, it was probably double height, maybe like this. So I cut it down because I didn't like the proper dimensions of it in relation to the instrument. I felt it didn't feel, it didn't look right. So I reduced the box size, and then you might know those. Originally they look like, just put my hand here, so this is closed. You just have this center piece, or the center opening, because yeah, you just pull some tissues out, right? And I thought, hey, that looks actually cool to use as a body for the guitar. I just create a second opening. So I did this with a little drill, drilled a couple of holes here around, and cut it out, and then filed it down, filed it smooth with the file, and that's it. That's what it looks like for the box. First, get yourself a box. I already glued some points on the sides, because later on I also pre-drilled here on the top lid of the box, so I just put some screws in the corners, the four corners, to close this box properly. Okay, and then as well I glued some support pieces, wooden pieces inside. I show you why. You will get there. Okay, then to the neck, the central part, or the main piece, I would say. So I started off with just a standard piece of wood. It was, I think, originally it was like 2 meters long. 2 meters is roughly 7 feet. 2 meters long, so I cut it down to the length that I thought was going to be the needed length for the instrument. Actually, this is going to be a 23-inch scale instrument. 23 inches, so I said, okay, I have to cut in this length. Then I cut a little smaller piece, which is already glued on here, to give it some extra support and to make it fit nicely inside the box later. That's what I did, and as well I started to carve the neck already. You can see here it's super rough. I just used this rough wood file that I have at hand. So I need to sand it down with sandpaper, but it feels already super nice. Now, the story of this neck is actually also interesting, because originally I was planning to do, as number 1 guitar, a 3-stringer fretted guitar. So I thought, okay, first I start with the neck, and then I will glue a top piece onto the neck and fret it to have my frets in place for the 23 inches scale length. And I said, well, but unfortunately, if I will glue a piece of wood on top of this piece here, then what will I lose? What is so original about this piece is this knot hole here. You see, it goes through. It even popped out in the beginning. I put my finger through it. It was really a hole. So I said, no, man, this is so original. This is so cool. I want to keep it like this. So first what I did is I glued this piece, so it's really fixed now. It's inside, it's glued. It won't fall out, it won't fall off. I hope, not while playing, that it falls off. No, it's fine. It's glued in, and I sanded it smooth here. So you just almost feel nothing. Anyway, it doesn't matter because of, I will get to that point, because of why, yeah. I mean, I will not put my fingers onto the fretboard, because now, since I wanted to keep this knot hole, making it look so cool, I think, I decided to get rid of the fretboard and just make it a slider. So this first guitar will be a 3-string slider guitar. Okay, because I don't need this anymore, I showed you. So yeah, I also opted for this cool scarfed neck. So it's not straight, but the tuners will be placed later. But you see it is a roughly 15 degrees. I will show you a bit more in detail. This is the detailed view. So here you see I started to carve it, make it lose the hard edges here on the back side of the neck. And here's the top. This is what I just talked about here. This knot hole. I think you can see it. Yeah, it's really smooth. You can't feel anything. It looks nice. It's really cool. It's original. And now here towards this scarfed neck. Here you see the 15-degree angle. I already marked where the nut is going to be placed. So here I sanded this smooth. Also here it looks nice and it feels nice. It's really smooth. And you can also see that I glued some little pieces, some little side pieces to the sides. And here I also gave it a nice rounding. Looks neat, looks nice, much nicer than without them. I think it's pretty cool. Now, about the nut, this is something I haven't decided yet. The nut, so let me show you. So about the nut, either I put a bolt on there, for example this one. It's a bit larger, but hey, it looks nice. Or I will maybe put a wooden screw there. This one is exactly the length I would need. By the way, this is the the width of the neck is 40 millimeters. 40 millimeters. This is roughly, yeah, it's a bit more than 1.5 inches. Let's say 1 5/8 of an inch. I always will try to give you the dimensions in metrics and in imperial dimensions or units. Okay, so maybe this one. Now, I'm not so sure because as this neck will not feature a glued-on fretboard, I will directly cut into the, I would need to directly cut into this piece. And now I can do some trials beforehand, not on this piece, but on the just a piece I have lying around, a piece of wood, to make this work, to look, okay, how deep do I have to make the cut? Can I glue it in easily or not with some wood glue or with something else? Will it work out or not? But once I make the cut here, yeah, then that's it. I mean, yeah, you might just tell me now, hey, doesn't matter, you just build another neck if you destroy it. But no, I want to make sure that at least for this first model here that it's going to be looking nice and it will be a nice outcome. So either I will make a little cut here, maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 millimeters deep, or let's say 1/16 of an inch. And then once I have this little cut, I can glue this this screw, this bolt, that will act as the nut. Or what I had in mind, what I also could do is something like, let me show you. What I could also do is also do something different. Maybe this is a better idea. I could just use a little tiny piece of wood. This is a bit, it is much, yeah, it's too large. I could cut this maybe here in the middle. Then I have a little piece of wood, which I could place or glue on top of the neck like this. Very tiny. And then, without sacrificing the integrity or the surface of this neck wood piece, I would just sacrifice, or I would just cut into this little piece here, just there, cut a little slot in there, 1 or 2 millimeters deep, and then glue it onto the neck like this, make it look nice, and then I can put the bolt on top of that and glue it on with some glue. Maybe I will do that, I don't know, I'm not sure. I will decide along the way. Okay, some more space needed. Put this to the side again. So maybe this little piece, let's see. Put this here. Alright, about the neck, this I talked to you about. Now, this one here. What is this? What's going on here? So I already made a cutout of this back side, or let's say box side of the neck. What I did is, so I don't know if you can see it here. If I hold it like this, maybe, so this is straight, and then it tilts down with an angle of, I opted for 1.5 degrees, 1.5 degrees back angle. Now I just want to explain to you in detail how I measured before I cut it out. I said, okay, first of all, what I want to have is, when the box is closed and the neck is inside there, I want to have these two surfaces flush, exactly like this. There should be no gap here in between when I run over there with the fingers. So that means you need to measure the thickness of your lid. And in this case here, this is it was 8 8 millimeters, which would correspond to 1/3 of an inch, roughly 8 millimeters. So I started with this 8 millimeters. Okay, so since I know where to, since I can measure from the back side of the box until this front side of the box here, I know exactly where to begin my cut. And you can still see there's a little line here. There's a little line that I drew with the pen. So now this is flush. Once it's inside, this is flush here. Feels really nice. Looks nice as well. So this is on this side. On the other side, what you do, I won't get into details now in this video, but in another episode I will show you some easy, very, very easy, I wouldn't say formulas, but very easy maths, easy to remember, easy to apply, that you know that once you have the length of your box basically, let's say this is maybe 12 inches long. There are some factors that you can just apply to this dimension, and then it gives you the depth or the material, the thickness of the material that you have to cut out at the back. 0 at the front to give you the angle you need or the degree you want. You can, I think most builders, they if they incorporate a back angle into their builds, it's something around 1 or 2 degrees. I opted for 1.5 degrees. That you know what to measure. So yeah, how much you want to go in here, how much you have to go in there. Of course, not forgetting that you first start with the thickness of the lid. So first what I did is, so this 8 millimeters, right? I drew a little line here, 8 millimeters down, and I drew the same line at the back, 8 millimeters down. That means no back angle, because then this surface of the lid would be just parallel to this surface. So 0 degrees back angle. Then it would look like this, basically. Then I use my little easy to remember formula, a little formula to apply some extra, depth at the back of the neck in order to get the back angle. Alright, here we go. So here on the left side it's flush. Put my finger there to hold it. There it's flush, and I hold it so that the lid gives me no back angle at all. 0 degrees. Both surfaces, the neck and the lid, the surface, the top of the lid, are parallel to each other. And you see underneath the cut that I made, you see it's much more material that is missing at the back here compared to here where the box starts, here on the left side. So in other words, the only thing that I had to keep in mind was not to cut away this thing here. So I cut from here down, cut along here, all the way down to here, and then here, because I know my length of 23 inches, scale length, I know this is 23 inches will be here then, between the nut position to this saddle position, 23 inches, or 584 millimeters, this size, in order to raise the piezo so that it gets in touch or in contact with the underside from here, the underside of the lid of my box. So if you do it like this, now it's cool, because again, this top piece, it will be like this, it will be sitting like this. You see there's this gap in between. It can wiggle, oscillate, resonate like it wants, and only here at the back it will be flush with this piezo underside. You see this little gap. The lid will never touch the neck underneath. And this is really cool and also important, because then that means once the box is completely closed, once I have the bolts in, and this surface will resonate, this will be the resonating part, it will not be damped, or let's say the vibration of this top, it will not be disturbed or damped in any way, because it will never be sitting on top of this neck. But it will be sitting, or there will be here, right here. That's the only contact point between the top of my box, so this lid, and this area here from the neck, right there. Right there. And I will start with only the strings. There will be no pickups installed, but what I'm opting for is later on to put a piezo inside here, fix it inside there, so maybe cut it a bit deeper, put the piezo in, and then once the box is closed again, the piezo will be sitting right underneath here. Piezo will be sitting right underneath here, and here I will place the bridge. Now I know what you're thinking. How is this going to be resonating? Because it's 8 millimeters. It's so thick. Good point. Good point. It might not. It might not resonate enough. It might not give you a large or a high volume. It might not sound really nice, but that doesn't matter, because first of all I will put a pickup in here, piezo, that gives me instant amplification mode or possibilities. When I will opt for a much thinner box lid, much thinner piece, what will happen? This will come down from being flush initially. It will reduce further down, and then I will have this, I would say, the classic little gap. So from here, from the neck, coming from the neck a bit down onto the new box lid, and then here at the back that will be the same, because this underside, I mean the underside will always be at the same position.